Determined to hunt down the terrifying ocean overlord, Vikir devises a reckless plan to reach the depths of the toxic Black Sea by using a massive boulder as his anchor. Before diving, he briefs the Baskerville triplets on the specific signal they must watch for on the water's surface. Giving the final order to proceed exactly as planned, Vikir gets ready to plunge into the dark waters. The triplets enthusiastically salute their master, promising to wait on the shore while praying for his safe return. Bracing himself, Vikir grips the heavy rope and prepares to hurl the massive rock into the sea. Channeling his incredible strength, he launches the colossal boulder high into the air. With a brief farewell, Vikir flies through the air alongside the rock, quickly disappearing into the sky. Watching from the shore, one of the triplets sweats at the sheer absurdity of this insane plan. Yet, they quickly realize that is exactly why he is their lord. He pulls off the impossible without flinching. Soon, the boulder crashes down, and the pitch-black water swallows Vikir as he descends into the beast's uncharted territory. Dragged rapidly into the abyss, Vikir plunges deeper into the dark waters as the high-stakes system countdown begins. Sinking fast, Vikir calculates his limits. While his past life's training only allowed 7 minutes, his upgraded stats now let him comfortably survive underwater for 2 hours. Although sinking like a stone is a crude method, it is the fastest way to bypass the unpredictable currents and reach the monster. As they sink deeper, an anxious Dekarabia warns Vikir that even ancient demons have almost no records on this Shadowless King. Terrified of going in blind, the pendant suggests a safer play, using blood to lure the beast to the surface, just like with Dogma. Vikir immediately rejects the idea, knowing such cheap luring tactics will no longer work on this clever creature. He explains that the monster already ignored Hound bait earlier. It only surfaced before out of starvation, and won't fall for the same trick twice. With only 5 hours left on the system countdown, they cannot afford to wait on the shore for the beast to get hungry again. Planning his attack, Vikir notes that the beast relies on massive tentacles, and, being a deep-sea creature, should be highly sensitive to sudden light. However, the extreme pressure prevents him from using his dimensional ring to swap weapons, and channeling mana down here is incredibly difficult. Hearing this, Dekarabia panics, crying that he refuses to drown and desperately begging for Vikir's reckless plan to succeed. Vikir coldly tells his companion to shut up and focus, reminding the ancient demon that he is not here just to watch. Finally, the boulder slams onto the seabed. Standing in the absolute darkness of the ocean floor, Vikir tells Dekarabia to get ready. On command, the pendant's single eye glows with a bright red light, cutting through the endless darkness. But as the light pierces the shadows, Vikir's eyes widen in shock at what is revealed directly ahead. Oblivious to the danger they just uncovered, Dekarabia smugly brags about his ability to light up the deep sea. However, the newly lit area reveals a massive graveyard, with the entire ocean floor covered in thousands of skeletal remains. Vikir immediately notices a creepy detail. These bizarre mutated skeletons look like a grotesque fusion of humans and insects. The pendant deduces these were the original inhabitants of this world, who once lived on the web-covered forest island they just left. Suddenly, Dekarabia realizes why that island was dead. The original inhabitants were likely trapped by this same system, forced into a twisted survival game. Though they clearly failed, Vikir's attention is quickly drawn to a familiar mutated skull drifting nearby. It is the demon remains of Dogma. He wonders briefly if Dogma survived, but quickly brushes it aside, knowing for a fact that the commoner boss was completely destroyed. Drawing his glowing blade, Vikir warns Dekarabia to stay sharp, realizing the skull is being held by a massive predator waiting in the dark. A terrifying giant blue entity begins to emerge from the darkness, revealing itself as a colossal brain-like deep-sea jellyfish. This massive, glowing nightmare is indeed the apex predator of the Black Sea. Vikir instantly recognizes it as the ultimate calamity of the 4th floor, the Shadowless King. The battle begins instantly as the Shadowless King swings a colossal tentacle, shattering massive underwater rock pillars with a single strike. The monster then unleashes a relentless barrage of heavy strikes that completely pulverize the seabed, leaving nowhere to hide. Using his high agility, Vikir glides effortlessly through the water, easily dodging the onslaught of giant limbs. Vikir notes that taking even a single direct hit down here would be absolutely fatal. As a tentacle swings at him, a panicked Dekarabia screams, but a calm Vikir slices the colossal limb clean in half with a precise slash. Vikir immediately notices that the severed tentacle does not regenerate, confirming his theory on the beast's limitations. This is thanks to his secret weapon, his Beelzebub Gauntlet, which recently absorbed an S-rank core to grant him the passive trait, Extreme Drought. By utilizing this drought-inducing power, Vikir dries up the wounds he inflicts, preventing the monster from regenerating its limbs. The passive effect works perfectly, stopping the tissue from stitching back together and leaving the giant beast highly vulnerable. Realizing his opponent is severely crippled, Vikir readies his blade for the final blow, confident the S-Rank King is within his grasp. Feeling its limbs decay, the panicked Shadowless King pulls its remaining tentacles tight to shield its exposed core. Refusing to go down without a fight, the monster channels a massive amount of mana, sending violent shockwaves through the deep water. Observing the terrifying buildup of energy, Decorabia nervously wonders what desperate attack the beast is preparing next. The S-Rank boss begins spinning its massive body at high speed, acting like an underwater turbine to violently manipulate the ocean currents. Knowing he will be swept away by the sudden shift in currents, Vikir drives his blade deep into the seabed to anchor himself. The vortex is so catastrophic that it triggers a massive lightning storm and violent whirlpools visible from the surface, causing the triplets on the shore to scream in terror at the unfolding battle. Meanwhile, Vikir stares in shock as the monster generates two colossal underwater tornadoes right in front of him.